built to last. That's what we're talking about in this training, all about building a business for the purpose of lasting results. But my question to you is, are you thinking about it that way? Regardless of the kind of business that you either have right now, or maybe one that you're thinking about. Perhaps you're thinking about starting a business coaching practice. Maybe you're starting a pool company. Maybe you had a dry cleaning company for 5 years, or a restaurant, for 10 or 15 years. Do you know where it's going? Do you know where you're headed? Are you building it on the foundational principles to last, and you have lasting purpose? That's the goal, and that's the point, okay? And so that's where I want you to, if you haven't wrestled with that question, if you haven't thought about that, I'm going to give you some things to think about. Perhaps you've heard of some of these things, but the question is, are you purposefully and intentionally building that business to last? That is a huge difference. And this is one of the reasons, by the way, one of the reasons you hear the statistics about, 80 to 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. Some of the biggest reasons is that they weren't built correctly to start with, or at least as they're in that creation mode over the first year or so, they're spending a lot of their time distracted on the wrong things and not on the right things that are going to cause longevity for a reason. Recently, my neighbor, one of those, it's cold this time of year. It's January, is this training, and their smoke detectors have been going off, and they were trying to figure out which one was causing it. They're hardwired in, so there was some malfunctioning happening. So I went over to help. We finally figured it out. We took the smoke detector, that was dysfunctional, and was able to stop the constant chirping and the alarm going off. And we got into this conversation of quality of construction. And he started pointing out some things in their home about 6 years into it that they had noticed that it was an obvious result of a lack of quality, which is an issue oftentimes in any type of construction. How long is something going to last? How long will that quality be there? And as we were discussing, I began to share some things about, my home and this kind of same things. It's evident with the way that some of the things that were built and the quality, that the question would be fair to say, was quality a part of long-lasting longevity for that construction company? All right. Doesn't matter who it is. The purpose of it is, you can tell that's probably not the case. You could tell it was done quickly. It was probably used cheaper products. And these are the kinds of things, when you're set up correctly, it trickles down into all parts of your business, down into the materials, down into the tools, down into the who, down into the how. And that's what will impact longevity. Because oftentimes we're just trying to do things for speed. We're just trying to do things in a hurry. We're just trying to get it done, check the box. We think for now that provides value, when in fact that could actually make an impact for a short term, or just lots of tribulation along the process. Okay, so the other question is, we're looking for lasting, but why? If we're going to build a business for long terms, what's the purpose? I have a neighbor who is in the process, or actually has started a pool company, and while he's still at his 9 to 5, he's getting this up and running, and the goal at some point is going to transition into this. But the main reason why he's building it to last is he wants that company to be generational. They can pass it down to his children, and that they can run that business and have a business for them that's lasting. So he's already making the decision that not only am I going to make a business that's going to last, I have a reason and a purpose for what things are going to look like down the road. Now, sometimes we don't always know those things. Some people will buy a business to sell it, build the business to sell it. In his case, make a generational decision. The reason why it's important, when we don't have direction, at some point, we can drift, and we can drift way off course, and that can cause a lot of challenges, okay? However, a business that is built to last, though, it's carefully constructed. This is the really important part of this. It's carefully constructed with bricks of vision, bricks of mission, and bricks of values. Now, I know you've heard of that before, but I want to implore upon you to have you really let that sink into. Even I see it all the time where businesses will create a mission statement, if you will, but it's not used in the business daily. It doesn't influence decisions. It doesn't influence team members. And therefore, it's kind of purposeless. We don't want to do that. Those elements, those three elements of vision, mission, and values, that's what creates DNA for the company. For even if you're a solopreneur, even if you're building a business coaching practice, having the vision, the purpose, and how we're going to do it and why, and the types of clients that I'm going to serve, that starts to all come together when those things are accurate. They're put together. We're building the business on them. Those become foundations for everything. So I'm going to just give you a high-level overview. If you've not spent a lot of time here, this is a great training for you just to kind of get it into your head to go, okay, I can see where I need to do this for my business, or the one that I'm planning on building right now. Again, it doesn't matter if you're building an enterprise, if you're building a solopreneur-style business, it all is going to matter. First is vision. This is the compelling cause. Think about vision. A lot of people get vision and mission mixed up, and they think that they've got one or the other, and they don't, or they have them combined, and that it's just not enough clarity to help build the correct foundations of the business. But vision, it's the compelling cause that motivates everyone, regardless if you're a party of one, like a lot of business coaches are, or if you're going to build a business that's going to end up requiring 20 to 30, 40, 50 employees. Doesn't matter. It's the why. Vision answers why we're doing this. All right. Very important that your why is very clear, not just about where it's going, but the why and the purpose, because that's the part that has the opportunity to be inspiring, right? Like you literally can have, two different businesses. Let's call them, dry cleaning businesses together. If one is super compelling upon the why and where they're going, they stand a chance of having a much more long-term success, both in the revenues and the profits that they earn during that time period and their length of stay, we'll call it, versus this one that just doesn't seem to have, we're cleaning clothes and everything, but you still can have purpose. You still can have why, and you want to do that. So you want to get very clear to create that sense of purpose for your business, not just because. Like, for instance, if you're in a 9-to-5 job right now, and the reason why you want to buy a franchise, I saw last night, you can own an RV franchise, kind of like an Airbnb style. It's kind of a cool concept. I grew up in an RV, not my only home. We just had RVs growing up all the time, so I love RVs, and it was the compelling thing. Well, part of their pitch was, hey, if you're tired of the 9-to-5 grind, this is a great way to be able to break free from that. Well, that's true, but man, that's the why you may want to purpose personally, but the business needs vision. Every single business needs a vision. The second one is the mission. All right. This is the what. This gives clarity to the why we're doing it. Now this is what we're going to do about it. Right. And it pulls together the what and the how all together and makes the vision clear. This is going to help guide. This is where mission comes into play in the real world, right? Decision making. There's a lot. I'm an ideas guy. I love ideas, and I get a lot of them all the time. But when you have a mission that's clear and you're working through it, it allows you to say, hey, this is a great idea, but does it actually fit within our mission? Sure, it's a good idea. There's a lot of great ideas, but when they don't fit within the mission or the resources that you have to give them priority, something is going to get your priority today. Is that priority in line with your mission, right? It's very important to do that. And your objectives. Otherwise, you wake up one day, and this happens all the time where it's the beginning of the year of 2025, and come March, April, a lot of people will wake up and they're going to go, okay, I'm nowhere near what I said I wanted to go out and to achieve at the beginning of this year. Why? There's not clarity upon where they're headed, why they're doing it, and what's setting priority and fitting all those things together. That's why vision and mission must complement one another, and you use them for all of your decision makings. Okay. Then you've got your values. All right. These are essentially kind of like agreed upon behaviors that define culture for your organization. Again, doesn't matter if it's party of one. You need to have values for yourself. If you're going to be a business coach and you're going to work with clients, when you don't have a properly aligned vision, mission, and certainly your own values, you'll begin to work with anybody. But values begin to shape the type of clients that you want to have. If you're going to have a business that's going to end up, let's say you have a printing company and it's likely going to have 5 to 7 employees. You want to hire the right types of people. You want to hire rock stars. Well, and you don't have clearly defined values, and those that are on the outside, if they can't notice and see those values, then you have a chance to bring some turbulence to the situation by hiring and bringing in the wrong people and working with the wrong people. That's why your values, that becomes your DNA, that are clear, that's what becomes an attractive piece. Chick-fil-A is probably the best example on the planet of where values matter and everyone knows. Very clear on what their values are. And look at all of their employees. They're attracting like-minded people. You can do the same. But if you don't have clarity to your vision, your mission, and your values, that's one of the reasons why, 1, it's going to make it hard to last. 2, you're likely going to experience a lot more turbulence in the waters. 3, those that you attract may not really be like-minded enough that you're really going to find either you're not going to enjoy it, or it's going to be, be clunky all the time. It just won't have the purpose behind it that you probably are looking for, and what you want, what you desire, what you think about, especially when we create what I call a God-sized vision. What that simply means is that we're planning the vision, we're praying about it, we're planning a mission, we're praying about it, we're praying our values, praying about it. We're saying, God, I want you to give me a God-sized vision of all this, because here's why. Here's what's important. Listen to this. When you create a vision that's too small, it will not attract enough people for the business to last. You call them customers, call them leads, it doesn't matter. It just won't. When it's just flat. It won't attract enough. Same thing is true when your vision is just ridiculously unrealistic. It detracts everyone, and people don't believe it. They don't buy into it at all. But I believe that when you are in lockstep and you're letting God to be able to order your steps as you're praying through this process, that becomes what I call a God-sized vision. And it fits within inside His will at that point, because you're leaning on Him. You're allowing Him to walk you through the process, to connect you to the right people. And so oftentimes, I bring this up today because it's the first of the year. We're talking about beginnings, new season, turning over the new leaf, blah, blah, blah. But regardless if you've got that business for 4 years or 8 years and it's just, you're not settled, you're still in that chaos phase. We talk about in some of the trainings we have of the 5 pillar of profit success, chaos. Most businesses stay there the vast majority of the life of the business because they don't do the right things to get them out of it, to get them into trajectory, to growth, and to scale, and to either exit or to make it generational, because we don't have foundations in place. So there's the right strategies we have to identify in a business to be profitable, period. And those are the ones that successful businesses emulate all the time. But then there's foundations underneath those strategies. That's your mission, that's your vision, and that's your values. Otherwise, when times are tough, you may make decisions that are far outside of what you really want, but it's just you're not in the right headspace, things are tough or whatever. Same thing is true when things are great. It's easier to take the foot off the gas because we don't have clarity to what we're actually wanting to do. So I hope that gives you some things to think about today, this week, this month. It often for a lot of people is a season of planning and a purpose, and hopefully this means something to you. Certainly, if it does, pray about it, think about it, be in line with it, and here it's okay when I don't know, I get it. Find accountability, find community. You can reach out to us. You probably found this video training through an email or whatnot. You can reply back to that. We'd be glad to engage with you and help you any way that we can on our team here at Business Coach Mastery and go from there. All right. Until next time, take care.